Malichevsky, Rubinstein, Arensky and Tchaikovsky, Sapelnikov, Dmitriev, Cheremin, Kryzhinovsky, Godovsky, Yavty-Buchev, Moniushko, Akimenko, Soloviev, Prokofiev, Tiomkin, Koreschenko, there's Glinkler, Winkler, Bortiniensky, Rebikov, Ilyinsky, there's Medna, Balakirev, Zolilarev and Kvachinsky, and Sokolov and Kobilov, Dukersky and Klinovsky, and Shostakovich, Borodin, Glier and Novakovsky, there's Leodov and Karganov, Markevich, Paschenko, and Dargamishky, Shterbachov, Skryabin, Vasilyenko, Stravinsky, Rimsky-Korsakov, Mussorgsky and Garachaninov, and Glazunov and Sezekui, Kalinikov, Rachmaninoff, Stravinsky and Garachaninov, Rumshinsky and Rachmaninoff. I really have to stop, the subject has been dwelt upon enough. Garachaninov, Rachmaninoff, I really have to stop because you all have undergone enough. Good morning, it's Friday, I've no idea anymore what date it is, but it's a Friday in November, and that of course was Tchaikovsky from Lady in the Dark. Not too much to do on a Friday morning really, and of course that's the song that made Danny Kaye a star. I've been asked by my friend Michael Fitzgerald to do a programme about Danny Kaye, and I'd been thinking about this earlier in the year, but I didn't think I could do it without at least attempting that song, so there. I've attempted it. David Daniel Kaminsky was born in 1911 in New York City. His mother died when he was in his early teens, and he ran away with a friend to Florida, where he sang songs with a guitar. He made his way back to New York, but he never went back to school. And eventually he became an entertainer in a Catskills resort, kind of what we Brits would think of as a redcoat. And then he joined a little troupe and went off to the Far East. And it was whilst performing in Japan that he honed his skills in physical comedy and all those grotesque facial comedic things he could do, because he was playing to an audience who couldn't speak English. But he came back to New York, and in 1939 he's got his first break there in the revue, the Italian Straw Hat Revue, which had music and lyrics by a young lady called Sylvia Fine, who became Danny Kaye's wife. And she would then, after Danny had the great success with Tchaikovsky, she would then go on to write all those patter songs for him to sing in the movies, when that became his trademark. Now, a couple of days ago, I did a quiz, and we had a couple of Danny Kaye songs from his Broadway show 2x2, which Richard Rodgers wrote for him to play Noah, and also we had No Two People from Hans Christian Andersen. And I thought, well, yes, Danny was famous for all his patter songs, but why don't we have some of the ballads he made famous as well? His arms were warm as they welcomed me, her eyes were fire bright, and then I knew that my path must be through the ever-haunted night. For anywhere I wander, anywhere I roam, till I'm in my arms of my darling again, my heart will find no home. Anywhere I wander, anywhere I roam. Her voice was oh such a soft caress, of love it gently told, and in her smile was the tenderness I may never more behold. But anywhere I wander, anywhere I roam, till I'm in the arms of my darling again, my heart will find no home. Anywhere I wander, anywhere I roam. Danny Kaye did a lot of good work for UNICEF, and he's remembered with 3 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for music, radio and movies. It is, of course, for his movies, though, that we'll always remember him. And 2 of his greatest successes were written by the team of Norman Panama and Melvin Frank. Now, they also wrote the script for Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House for Cary Grant and Myrna Loy, a couple of the road movies, The Road to Utopia and The Road to Hong Kong, as well as the Broadway musical Lil Abner, which is great fun. But for Danny Kaye, they wrote the scripts for White Christmas, which is still a wonderful film, and also for The Court Jester, which I rewatched recently. And it's still funny, when you can't say that about a lot of necessarily all those comedies from the 50s. Now, my friend Michael Fitzgerald asked me to do this programme about Danny Kaye, and he said, could I do that thing from The Court Jester? Well, I said, that thing from The Court Jester isn't a song, it's a scene. Well, said Michael, can't you turn it into a song? Well, you know, we're in lockdown, so what can I say? I've taken my life in my hands, and I've taken Panama and Frank's work in my hands, and I've written you a little song. So I hope the ghosts of Danny Kaye and Sylvia Fine would approve of this. So, just what did the witch say? She said, the pellet with the poisons in the vessel, with the pestle, it's the chalice from the palace, has the brew that is true. You gotta tell betwixt them, 'cause you wouldn't want to mix them for a poison. If you picks him, it's the last thing you do. Now she says the palace chalice has been broken, no joking. It was hit, I must admit, and saw it split into 2. Now the pellet with the poisons in the flagon with the dragon, not the vessel with the pestle or the chalice from the palace, which was broken out of malice by a cook who could be callous. It's the vessel with the pestle has the brew, that is true. Have you got that? All right, I'll tell you again. She said, the pellet with the poisons in the vessel, with the pestle, it's the chalice from the palace, has the brew that is true. You gotta tell betwixt them, 'cause you wouldn't want to mix them for a poison. If you picks him, it's the last thing you do. Now she says the palace chalice has been broken, no joking, it was hit, I must admit, and saw it split into 2. Now the pellet with the poisons in the flagon with the dragon, not the vessel with the pestle or the chalice from the palace, which was broken out of malice by a cook who could be callous, is the vessel with the pestle, has the brew, that is true. Okay? Well, you'd better say it with me then, alright? She said, the pellet with the poisons in the vessel, with the pestle, it's the chalice from the palace, has the brew that is true. You gotta swap between them, 'cause you wouldn't want to mix them for a poison. If you picks them, it's the last thing you do. Now she says the palace chalice has been broken, no joking, it was hit, I must admit, and saw it split into 2. Now the pellet with the poisons in the flagon with the dragon, not the vessel with the pestle or the chalice from the palace, which was broken out of malice by a cook who could be callous, it's the vessel with the pestle, has the brew, that is true. Now I've not got a clue what to do.